All right. Good afternoon on this lovely June 15th, 2025 edition of our show. This is Penelope Flynn, co host of Discussions from the Otherhood, our podcast discussing everything that is media from the position of us blurs or black nerds or whatever you want to call it of a certain age. So we thank you for showing up here on Father's Day, and which is a few days ahead of Juneteenth, which is on the 19th, the Thursday this week. So before we get started in our conversation, we're going to we'll talk about the weather as we usually do. And Sonia, since you're a top center, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods?
It has been quite pleasant, and the skies have been quite blue. It's been, low highs in the upper lower 70s. Like now it's about 69, 70, and it's beautiful. For now, it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
All
That sounds
right.
great. That's great.
Yeah. And how about you, Otto? How's the weather?
Well, we've been hot. It's been hot here, and then it did the thing that I hate the most, where it rained early in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it's going to be hot and humid. So that's it.
Yep, yep. And James, how's the weather in New York, in the city? Okay. Can you hear me?
They don't have no weather there.
James, can you hear us?
It's 62 hello?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's 62 degrees and cloudy.
Oh,
Well, that
nice.
sounds good too. I'll take that.
Yeah, because we can't see the hot time summer in the city, right? It's not that today.
Not that time. Not that time of year.
Not that time yet. Okay, all right.
It's 62 degrees and it's cloudy.
That must be so nice.
It's 62 degrees and it's cloudy.
We heard you, man. Why you saying it 5 times?
Yeah, how many times you gonna say it? You're trying to
He's rubbing it in.
I know
It's
he is.
62 degrees and it's cloudy.
It's like an AI, like a robot.
I know. Is this the real James? Is this his clone?
Terminate him.
It's cloudy and 62 degrees.
It's different. He said it the opposite, so now we know it's the real him. All right, Nikki, how's the weather in South Florida?
It is 84 degrees here, sunny, and not a cloud in the sky.
Is it nice though?
I don't know. I'm in the house with the air on and my fan.
Okay, all right. Anyway, okay. No, so you don't know if there's any breeze or anything like that. You're just.
I don't want to take that chance. I'm going to stay right here where I'm comfortable.
Yeah, but we got a call this morning from our daughter-in-law to wish Otto happy Father's Day, but she is in Nevis, and she is going to the beach every other day with her mom. And she says the weather is just in the 70s and is glorious and lovely, and I'm so jealous. So with that, we're going to move over into our discussion of Father's Day and Juneteenth. And for those of you all who don't know, I'm sure there's not many that don't know, that Juneteenth, June 19th, is supposed to have been the day that the Union soldiers read the pronouncement of the Emancipation Proclamation, or basically, what is it, General Order 3, I think it was, to basically inform all the persons who were held in bondage illegally in the United States that they were free to travel, to do whatever, but they no longer were required to work on these plantations for no money. So that was a big deal. It is a holiday. It is a federal holiday coming up on the 19th, which, many people are off from work, and we have to kind of decide, what are you going to do, on this federal holiday, on this June 19th. I went last month to Tallahassee to their 20th of May celebration. On the 20th of May was when the Emancipation Proclamation was read in Florida. So that was basically a month before they got to Texas and announced it down in in Galveston. And so since it was like one of the last days, I don't think it was the last, but one of the last days, last states that were Confederate states, that the proclamation was read. the General Order 3 was read, then the holiday, I think, was set to coincide with that particular day. And I mean, we have a lot of different feelings about this. I remember coming to Texas and finding out that they had like Juneteenth quote unquote celebrations. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to look at each other and say, I don't know what we're celebrating. I'd be mad all day. The fact that they didn't get the information regarding the end of the Civil War until what, like 2 years after the war was over, that is nothing to celebrate. That is something to be really angry about. 2 extra years of our labor, forced labor, given to people, and we did. They knew, but they didn't make sure that we knew. So that was kind of nasty. And we think about, yes, what is this called? It's not really a holiday, is it? It is, you don't celebrate it, or do you commemorate it?
Yeah, they
How do you want to
celebrate
say
it.
it? It's an acknowledgement,
So
day of acknowledgement, I think.
you're celebrating the fact that you got the memo late.
Yeah, right. Why would I
Yeah,
be
intentionally.
happy
Like,
about that?
so my thing was, and I don't mean to hate, but my thing was, it should be run amok days. Like, I should go around destroying every goddamn thing I get my hands on. Number one.
Well,
Number two is like, I'm suspicious of this holiday because it passed the Senate like 100-0, and it's affecting black people. And when the last time you had 100-0 vote on a
well,
holiday commemorating anything associated with black people?
well. In Virginia, it was certain plantations that didn't find out about the Emancipation Proclamation until like 1866.
Mhm.
Okay, and that just happened to be a slave was near the road,
Mhm.
and a Union soldier came riding by, and he asked, whose plantation, and the slave told him, and he was like, well, I'm just saying, I'm not paraphrasing. He's probably like, well, what the fuck are y'all doing still on the plantation? You didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't get the information. So some
No.
places like Virginia, they didn't find out until 1866. So I personally, when I heard about it, I was like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
You
Why is it
know,
it shouldn't be a
Yeah.
celebration. It should be
And
like,
why are these white senators 100% behind it to make it into a holiday?
oh, because it's safe.
mhm.
It's it's something safe to vote on, and also after the fact, way after the fact. And a lot of people seem to forget that when the Emancipation Proclamation was was you know was created or given out there, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, that did not apply to slaves in those states. Okay, Eastern Tennessee, it didn't apply because Lincoln wanted to keep those states and regions that were loyal to the Union. He didn't want to disrupt the boat. He didn't want to rock
Mm.
the boat. So he was like, okay, in order to keep Kentucky keep supplying troops,
Mhm.
we're not gonna. This doesn't apply to Kentucky.
There were
If you read
several.
it, yeah, yeah, Kentucky, West Virginia, Eastern Tennessee,
Mhm.
the mountain regions of Tennessee,
Mhm.
even
Mineral,
Delaware,
mineral.
Maryland, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it didn't apply. It did not apply. For New York's part, New York had abolished slavery in 1827.
Mhm.
Okay, but that didn't stop slave catchers from snatching you off the street and basically kidnapping you and take you down south.
Mm.
You know, so I'm
Ergo, like
kind
stories
of
like 12 Years a Slave, where some
yeah,
guy wasn't even, and they said, "Well, you are now."
yeah, yeah. That's what they would do in New York. They just snatch you off the streets of Manhattan or downtown Brooklyn,
Mhm.
and they ship you down south. And you hope that they didn't say, well, we're shipping you to Louisiana, because
Yeah.
the further down south you went, the worse it was.
Or down to the islands.
Yeah. Well, see, the islands, the Caribbean, slavery was abolished. I could be wrong.
Hmm.
In the Caribbean in the early 1800s, but see, that's after England had ran through the islands. England,
Hmm.
they was like, well, we done did what we did, so we could kind of make things relaxed down there. But that's after the British Empire had ran or run amok.
Yeah, because the sugar cane and sugar trade, that's the big deal that, had like in places where they really, it was rough. So that was like the
Yeah,
roughest thing.
yeah. My father we could trace see because my father's from, God bless him, was from the United States Virgin Islands, and
Hmm.
that's where we can trace our ancestry to sugar cane and rum and all of that there.
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. Well, we have people who are like, if you are like in the U.S., we're from the U.S. Virgin Islands. How far back is that it became a U.S. territory? And how long did slavery last in places like that?
Okay, well, the funny thing about United States Virgin Islands was back in I said 1917,
Hmm.
right? Woodrow Wilson went to Denmark, the Danish, and said, "Listen, here's a suitcase full of money. We want to buy the your version of the Virgin Islands." And
Hmm.
the Danish, they were like, "Okay." So one day, my father's people went to sleep as Danish citizens, and then by sunrise, they woke up as American citizens.
Hmm.
You know, um, when it came to like again sugar and rum and all of that stuff, being that also the U.S. Virgin Islands is close
Hmm.
to Puerto Rico, because actually I have some distant relatives over there. But yeah, that's after you know again they abolished slavery in the Caribbean fairly early, but that's because they basically had their fill. The European powers,
Hmm.
except for France, that was still pissed off at Haiti.
Right. But that was ridiculous with Haiti, though, to basically steal your freedom and then make you have to pay them back. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I'm
Yeah, but
sorry.
that's how a lot of countries made their money, and it was like a weird sense of reparations or strong arming or
Yeah,
blackmail.
it was ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah,
that
And I
that was
know
what that was
that,
part of that was part of
But it was
Lincoln's plan.
something.
That was part of Lincoln's plan too. To
It
get
only,
get
yeah, it only abolished it in the states that had ceded. Didn't touch anybody else.
and to pay
yeah,
people the slave holders to pay them reparation for freeing their slave. And I think England had that in place too. They paid people, for having their slaves freed.
yeah, yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But the difference was in England, they it was like Lloyd's of London and such. They're the ones that paid the people for loss of property. They didn't make the property pay the people back, and that's also the thing that France got away with
Yeah,
it.
that's
Because,
ridiculous.
and France got away with it because the United States backed them up until 1946.
But
Yeah,
Haiti
well,
still
a lot
Haiti's
of
still
the
poor now.
a lot of the major a lot of the major insurance companies in the United States. Was it? And that
New
uh,
York Life.
yeah, they all had dealings in slavery.
Mhm.
Merrill Lynch, even though now Merrill Lynch is just a shadow of itself, now it's just a subsidiary of Bank of America, but Merrill Lynch was involved in the cotton trade. See, that's why New York City. That's why New York City was kind of on the fence when the Civil War started.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you had a mayor in New York City, Fernando Wood. He wanted to succeed from the United States and change the name of New York to Isotopia.
What the heck? And the reason
Yeah,
for that was,
he wanted New York City to succeed from the Union.
Yeah, it didn't work though.
Yeah, I mean, Gracie Mansion is named after a slave holding family.
hmm,
I thought it was named after what's his name? What's the name's wife?
Oh, boom, boom.
You know what though? So I mean, this Juneteenth thing. I mean,
hmm,
I get it, and they always bring out this older black woman from Galveston. I
Yeah,
think she's like 98 years old now,
hmm.
and she's supposedly she listed as the mother of Juneteenth, and just it's a lot of it's cringeworthy. Number one, I do not trust anything. White people vote 100 to nothing for the passage of a holiday for that commemorates anything that black people have done.
Well, I mean,
I'm
I
very
think of it.
suspicious.
I know, but I think what it is, I mean, from my perspective, they look back at all the pushback they got when certain states were resistant to the MLK holiday
But let me
and
put it
saw
this
what
way.
happened to them. So they said,
But
well, we don't want to fight that fight.
let me say this, Penelope. If Juneteenth came up for vote today, how do you think the vote would go?
I mean, I'm sure that all of us think that it would not go well. These people now, they would not do it
It'd
because
be
they
a
were
lot
trying to
of
curry
bloodletting.
favor. They were
Yeah.
trying to curry favor with, with Donald Trump. In fact, it's kind of funny. It's kind of like an off-topic thing. This morning, we were watching Twilight Zone. It's a Good Life. The Anthony Fremont, story where the little boy is like this monster, and everything he says, oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, Anthony, that you did that thing and created that gopher with three heads. It's a good thing. Oh, it's a good thing that you wished it into the cornfield. You made it dead and wished it in the corn. That's a good thing. Um, that's like the world we're living in right now. Where we have individuals who will tell someone who is saying things that are just ridiculous and doing things that are absolutely ridiculous,
Anthony
and just
Fremont is the
yeah,
president
yeah.
of the United States, and
wait a
not
minute. Just that episode of the Twilight Zone. I
But,
think
but that's
personally,
just what we
pretty much.
saw today. So yeah,
Oh,
we're just yeah we
I
just we're
I
mhm,
think just about the whole run of the Twilight Zone is a metaphor for today.
mhm.
well,
Okay.
Yeah.
special ones, right? So you got this Anthony Fremont as president, except the current president doesn't have the mental capacity of Anthony Fremont, and then you have obsolete man,
Oh yeah.
and then you have 4 o'clock with all the evil people becomes 2 feet
Two
high,
feet tall. Yeah.
2 feet tall. There's so many. As James said, there's so many different ones. I getting off topic again because you know
Hmm.
talking about that military parade. Penelope didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, but of course I
I
was
watched
forced to
that
watch
crap.
it. So I was in the same room. Go
No,
ahead.
Why
I
would
didn't
you?
watch that. Uh-uh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No.
why would you? I wouldn't. I understand people not watching it. I totally understand
I
that.
only have so much space in my head,
Yeah, I'm
and I
watching it.
can't waste it on that.
I'm watching it because the thing is, there should be a witness to the perversion and the form. When stuff goes down, sometimes we don't want to watch it, but I don't want anybody to say it was this or that, and I didn't see it. I saw it, and I saw the nonsense, that the way it looked, the way it was orchestrated, the way the crowds look. I saw it for myself. I don't need any reporter to tell me or biased source or anything like that to say anything. I
Excuse me,
absolutely saw it.
Otto. One
Yeah,
minute. Did you hear the tanks going down the street too?
I turned the sound down. I turned the sound down because I didn't want to listen to any sort of narrative or anything like that.
Well, right there, from what little I saw, right there with the Sherman tanks coming down the street, it was a very sparse crowd.
Yes.
If you could hear the tanks creaking down the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
and these are military machines built on destruction and killing, and you got people at the top waving to the crowd, whatever crowd there was.
Hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, and they were saying how interesting it was that what songs they were playing was "Fortunate Son" by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and what it's about is how they say these people who are all patriotic and stuff, but they send the children of the poor out to fight their wars, and they basically, skip going into service. So I think it's very interesting for them to play that song. You know,
And
some
nobody
folks
Yeah,
are that,
caught
yeah,
on.
yeah. The some folks are born silver spoon in hand. Lord, don't they help themselves, Lord? But when the tax man come to the door, Lord, the house is looking like a rummage sale. It ain't me. I ain't no millionaire's son. It ain't me. It's like it's so funny, that these people are the ones who put you out there.
it was a production, and it
But I
was
mean, think about it. That kind of, if you ask me, that flew over a lot of people's heads.
sure it
That
did.
Hmm.
song,
And the fact that they picked the song to play,
Yeah.
and the fact that they got the one of the production companies that used to do the wrestling, the WWE, did the production for that event, and the fact that no one, people were in fatigues marching down. They wasn't even synchronized. It's like a group of people just walking down the street, the middle of the street.
yeah,
Hmm.
that I saw. It was nobody leading with their left.
Yep. Nope.
Okay, people, and see that right there shows you how enthused the troops were. Okay,
Yeah.
They
because
weren't in their dress uniforms or anything
Yeah.
that
Nothing.
you expect to see.
Mm,
And the only person allowed to stand up and salute was that moron with his tie that was so damn long it reached his crotch, and he's standing there saluting, and 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 there's no like army band, and then the army band that played was like the Latino army band that played some sort of Latino song or something. That was a piece of garbage. I mean, I'm glad I
well,
watched it because it was a failure, and I saw
but
it, and nobody.
I think a lot of it is that how do you expect these people who pledge to, give their lives, in defending the country, to walk past a man who called people who look just like them losers? You
but
know?
that's why from what little I saw, I think it was just a disaster because nobody was into it. Okay, um, obviously somebody picked that song by Creedence
Hmm.
Clearwater Revival on purpose.
Yep.
Okay, and I really think it would have been more up tempo had it been a different president.
Yeah, I agree.
I
But
mean,
especially because he tried to do it like as a birthday thing to
birthday. Yeah.
himself instead of acknowledging the individuals who are members of the military. And that's the thing I think it's like, why does this have to be related to you at all? And then one of my sisters was saying this morning that they had somebody come up, he bought a flag. Was that you, Nikki? Was saying that how they bought a flag. He had a flag
Yep.
bought. And go
Hmm.
ahead, you can say it because you're the one who saw it.
They said he bought a flag and he bought a flag and had one of the guys from the army come up and present it to him. All
Oh,
folded up and everything. And
such
I was
big.
thinking he fell asleep through a lot of it anyway.
But the issue is this: you don't have anybody in your family
Mm-mm.
that fell, in service. So why are you getting a flag? The
Yeah,
military
who
delivers a
died?
flag to you.
Is that
Yeah,
done? Is that done for like people who died or something?
yeah. Did they deliver a flag to you when your relative
Okay,
dies
so
in
you're
service?
you're you're telling me that was the flag folded into a triangle?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was.
Oh
Uh,
no,
Is that
Yes,
no,
it
when people
was.
die?
yeah.
no,
Hmm.
Yeah,
no, 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 and no. That's an insult
it
It
is.
is.
to this guy who couldn't go when he was called to duty. His ankles are too
My
fat and had
cankles are
burns,
hurting.
bone spurs. It's
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Fremont, y'all. That's what it is.
And everybody says it's a
People
good
tell this
thing
dude
that you didn't serve.
anything. I
It's a
want to
good thing.
know. I want to know what his plans are for for Juneteenth.
You you're kidding, right?
No, I'm not.
Well, I know
It's a
it's really
federal
interesting.
holiday.
Yeah, and I know that one of my sons was saying that they didn't get Juneteenth last year when he first started working at his job. He did say, "Well, what's going on here?" And he said this year he's taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we didn't have what was Juneteenth, but at least MLK Day, we used to work at our offices where we used to work when we first started out, and people didn't, people came to work. It's like, well, that's nice. I'm not.
Yeah, I
I'm
got a
Mm-hmm.
taking off.
call. I got a call. They said, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm home." I said, "Why you home? It's Martin Luther King Day." I said, "Yo, why you taking Martin Luther King Day off? Because it's a holiday?" I said, "Well, we have Jewish lawyers here. They don't take off Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah." I said, "Yo, that's them.
That's their business.
What I got to do with me?"
That's their business. And say, if they don't want to, that's their religion. They do whatever they want. But as far as we're concerned, yeah, I'm not coming in. You know, and you need to feel my absence and know that's why I'm gone.
You shouldn't be there either. What the hell are you
Yeah.
doing
So
there?
what are you doing? And that's the thing. It always bugs me when I watch like the Dallas Mavericks and they do the MLK show that they always do. The commemoration. And they bring all these black players out to say blah blah blah. But why don't they have the Anglo players saying anything? You know?
Because they're not affected. Dr. King wasn't white. He's black.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the insanity is that the civil rights movement, helped everyone across the board,
I
not
know. I'm
just
being
black people.
facetious. I'm
Yeah,
being facetious.
I know you
Yeah.
are, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that why they don't
It's
still
going to
do
be the
it.
same. Penelope, it's going to be the same. When you see these companies, all these companies that eliminated DEI, all these companies that got their tongue directly on Trump's ass, they're going to come out and say all this stuff on
More like in
Juneteenth.
his ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't want
thank
to go
you.
all that way because it's Sunday. It's
Mm.
Sunday, man. I'm trying to keep a little decorum. So it's like they're gonna make all these things. They're gonna see all these things on June 19th. They're gonna see all this stuff, and it's gonna please a lot of the so-called black leaders, if we
Hmm.
have any of those left. It's gonna please them, and then they're gonna go right back to what they were doing before.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if on June 19th or Juneteenth, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump signs some type of executive order insulting black people some more.
Oh, I
Well,
would not doubt it. But the reason why we don't doubt it is that means that we're ready for it, and that's the
He's
Yep.
thing that
well,
he has not. That's the thing he has not been prepared for. The fact that most people here in the country, black people, African American people, whatever you want to call us, during this thing, have not fallen for the quote unquote okey doke.
I think what he
well,
should do. I
he
think what
has.
he should do is do
Hmm.
executive order repealing Juneteenth. I want him to go there.
Hmm.
Well,
I
he
want
has
him to.
already said that the government and especially the military will not recognize any what could be considered a DEI holiday or celebration. It won't celebrate Pride Month. It won't celebrate anything connected with women's history. So he's done that already. And then the other day, he announced that they're going to rename all of the bases whose names they changed back after all of these Confederates who should not have had the bases named after them anyway in the first place,
Hmm. Yep.
and take the names off all of the ships that they put black people's or other than white people's names on.
Well, you heard the story behind that, right? So he's like
No.
he's changing the names, and people are saying, "Well, you changing names, and you changing it to Confederate names." He said, "No, these are other people that fought in the war that just
Yeah,
happen to have the same names as
yeah,
these
that's
Confederate people."
yeah, that's what he
No.
did. That's what he did with Fort Bragg. Okay, they found the soldier with the last name Bragg that died in action during World War II. Okay, so now
But
it's
he's just a
not.
soldier, not someone who was decorated or anything like that. Just a soldier.
No,
Yeah.
not it. Just a soldier. It was somebody who was, it
No,
wasn't. It was
he
just. Go ahead.
yeah. The If you look at Fort Bragg now,
Mm-hmm.
it's named after it's named Bragg, but it's not General Bragg, not General Braxton Bragg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's named after a
Frank
soldier.
Bragg.
Say that again.
Frank Bragg or something,
Okay, yeah, and I believe he died during World War II.
So what did he do?
Um, I think
He's a
yeah,
decorated soldier
he was a
that got
decorated
one of these
soldier.
medals or something. Got one
Yeah,
of these medals or something. And so
yeah, he
that's
was.
what they did.
He was a couple. I guess I assume he was a couple of medals short of Audie Murphy or something like that. But yeah,
Ah,
that's the game that they play now. So you can't, if you criticize it, it's like, oh well, no, this is not General Braxton Bragg, who I don't understand even from a Confederate Army point of view why they picked his name, because he was one of the worst Confederate generals during the war. Okay, Braxton Bragg spent more time
hmm.
arguing with other generals than actually fighting.
Hmm.
So go figure. But yeah, this is the game that they play. I guess they're gonna do the
Yeah, it's not.
same
It's
with.
not the names. It's not the. It's not the. Yeah, it's not the names that you thought that there were. It's not. It's people who served in the army or navy and fought in World War I or World War II
Right.
or even the
Yeah.
Vietnam War that happen to have the same name. Happen to have the
Ha-
same. They think they're cute, man.
Yeah, so now they have to scour. They got to look through the records to find a Jackson, a Bennon, Texas Hood, I guess Campbell. They gotta find somebody with the
Yeah,
same name.
that's what they do. They're not going to go out. Apparently, apparently they're too scared to go out and just say we putting the Confederate names back. They're coming out with they finding people with the same name and say we naming it after him.
Yeah, I guess
We name it after Penelope Flynn.
Well,
Not
yeah.
not
well,
not the not George Flynn who came and killed a
yeah,
whole lot of black people or something. No, it's Penelope Flynn who
Yeah,
fell down a flight of stairs during
yeah.
the
Kind of.
Vietnam War and got the
yeah.
Purple Heart.
This is
Thank you.
this
There you
yeah
go.
this
Yeah, there you go.
this is the game that's being played, and sometimes certain things it's like a bridge too far. Okay, now because just to bring back the Confederate generals that were originally named to these forts, it's just a bridge too far. Just like they could erase
Well,
my father's history from the Pentagon website, but erasing Jack C. Robinson, his military history, that's a bridge too far. Because from what I understand, even some
but they
Republicans
should
had got.
erase. They should erase anyone's.
It shouldn't have been. It
They
should
should
not
erase
have been done.
anyone's.
It should not have.
Anyone's.
It should not have
What a
been done in the
sickness!
first
And the
place.
thing that bothers me, but the thing is, it gets me is that these SOBs don't even listen to the rank and file military.
No, they
The
don't.
rank and file military were against all this stuff.
Yeah.
They don't listen to those people. They're like, well,
Well,
because you know
I
what?
saw
There's no respect for rank and file military. Hmm.
I saw
Go
this.
on. I'm
I saw
sorry,
this
Otto.
parade yesterday. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I saw this parade yesterday, and it tried to make it into look like a Macy's Day parade. I expected to see like a float, like a big balloon or something. But the thing that struck me was, number one, there's no synchronization of the marching. It was just like a bunch of people in fatigues just walking down the street, strolling. There was no dress
Hmm.
uniforms. There weren't any. Like usually
Hmm.
you see, the military, they're doing something honorarium like that. Then the dress uniforms, they have their rifles. They're in the precision marching. You see the marching bands and all that. None of that was there. This guy's the worst. You mean to tell me this is what he comes up with as far as a parade,
And I'm
a
gonna tell you
celebration of
something
the
else.
armies?
I'm gonna tell you something else. It's gonna cost Washington D.C. some money because those tanks, especially the post World War II tanks, those tanks weren't not meant to be coming down streets like
Mm-mm.
that. So they
No, you're
Right.
gonna
probably
tear up that
yeah,
infrastructure.
they're probably gonna have to repave
Their
that
water and their
street.
water lines and stuff that go under the streets
Yeah,
are
That's
probably
what they get.
infected.
That's what they get for taking off that Black Lives Matter thing off the street.
Yeah, because like Keith Olbermann said, these people kowtow to bullies, and they think that that's gonna change them, stop them from doing what they do. He said, you do not kowtow to a bully. All it does is have them bully you more.
that's all.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna have no parade coming down D.C. with no Black Lives Matter thing strapped across the street. So that's why
Well,
that was removed.
well, to me, it's less a bully, and it sounds like a preteen who insists on having their birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, no matter what the weather's going to be like, or if anybody's going to come.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I mean, it was a threat of rain. So basically, what he did was move the hour of the march up, so to try to avoid rain, and then typically these sort of things have fireworks and stuff like that. So it was too light to have fireworks. It was a mess. It was a huge mess. I'm glad I watched it
It's like,
because
you
it's evidence. Is that no? I don't want anyone to show any goddamn, try to say this didn't happen.
yeah.
I saw it.
Well, the thing is, if they don't have Shriners passing out candy, it's not a real parade.
Right, exactly.
It was
Exactly.
it was garbage. It's like a mess of people. I mean, you just seen the dudes in their fatigues, which I've never seen. Like
Yeah.
then the fatigues just walking and
Just
milling about. They wasn't even in
walking.
sync.
I mean, just
The arms
walking.
weren't swinging the same way.
Yeah.
The
I
legs
mean,
were.
everybody just kind of just walking
Yeah.
together down the
Yeah,
street.
and take it from somebody that has done many a parade back in
Hmm.
my drum and bugle corps days. I have never seen. That's one thing I could say. I've never seen the military. I wouldn't even say they were walking. They was basically strolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
strolling. You're right.
Yeah. Not
It
even
was
marching,
strolling.
not
There's,
walking.
there's better
Strolling.
there was better synchronization when you saw like the New York City Police Department band go down the street in the Macy's Day Parade.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
thing was garbage.
High school bands
And the
were
thing
more
is,
instant.
here's a bad thing to me about it. The Democrats, claim and bitch and moan about it, but they're not laughing at it the way they should be. At least I haven't seen it because that thing was pure folly, pure folly. It was so badly done and performed. It was horrible.
I just can't see how somebody who denigrates the rank and file of the military the way that he did would expect anything different.
Oh my God, that
I
thing was
cannot
so bad.
imagine why he would expect anything different than what it was that occurred.
And the thing is, the people who were doing the production of it, they didn't know. I guess they had no idea how the military works and how the
Yeah, but
military
did
how the
you
military
say it?
parade's supposed to look like.
Did you say it was the WWE that
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I I say no more?
Because they have nothing to do with anything that
You
is
think they would ask
uniform or
somebody how does a military parade? What does it look like? Why would you have tanks? Huge machines like that are killing machines and could do so much damage to the infrastructure of a city. They weren't meant to go down streets. Why would you do that?
Because that's what he wanted. If you guys remember his first term, he wanted a big military parade because he's fascinated with parades in like North Korea. He was looking for
yeah,
a
like
North Korean
yeah.
Well, the
where
North
you
Ko-
goose
the
step
North
down the
Korea
street.
the North Korean parades that I saw, the Russian military parades I
Yeah.
saw, they look way better than the piece of crap I saw yesterday.
But we're not supposed to be having these kind of parades. We're not totalitarian
I
governments.
know, but the guy couldn't even do it right. What I'm saying.
So what a
stood up and saluted the soldiers and not realizing they were the Vietnam War prisoners of war.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing.
great.
It was ridiculous, and I can't believe that Democrats aren't taking advantage of this. They're
No,
so
they're starting.
silent.
They're starting to. It's all over. YouTube's got a whole bunch of people laughing hysterically.
I mean, it was bad, y'all.
And
It was
then
bad.
they had tried to get seat fillers, but they were paying them in cryptocurrency, not cash.
Oh, people! Oh, hell no!
It was
I'm sorry.
It was horrible.
Well,
Wait a
two
minute, say
good
that
things at
again.
least. He didn't bring a live nuclear weapon down there as part of the parade.
Well, that's
Wait a
good.
minute, what was that about crypto cash?
There was an ad in Craigslist for seat fillers. You had to wear red, white, and blue, and you would be
Right.
provided with a red cap.
Right.
And gold accessories were preferred. And they would pay you, and you had to sit in sight of the VIP riser, whatever stage,
Right.
and they paid you. Oh no, there was lunch, a fast food, and a soda, and then they were going to pay you $1,000 in cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah, right.
No.
And the thing, and the thing,
Yeah.
And I wanted to say how much they were. I bet you anything it would have been those Trump meme coins.
Mhm.
The thing is,
Where
Sonia,
are the drag queens
the
when you
Democrats,
need them?
you saying the Democrats
Yeah.
are starting
Oh, it's
to
on
laugh
YouTube.
about-
Yeah, there's YouTube videos out.
You know
already.
what? They should immediately. When I saw that, when Penelope and I was watching it, it was immediate derision. It should have
You
been
gotta be
immediate.
kidding.
It should have been immediate.
It's
'Cause
it's
that
on
was garbage.
yeah.
Why
It's on
wait?
YouTube.
Why wait? That was so bad.
And I'll tell you the thing that
And they-
bothers me most is how dare someone who would denigrate service people, a person who did not serve. How dare they
And said the same
demand-
things they said about John
demand
McCain.
this? Yeah,
And
How
call
dare
them
they?
and call people in Europe that died in Europe during World War II. Call them suckers.
That's
Suckers,
why
yeah.
everybody was laughing hysterically. That the only time he got up and saluted, when he wasn't pouting, was when it was the U.S. Army Vietnam's
POWs.
W-2s. You know what I mean? All those
Yeah,
folks
POWs, yeah.
came. Yeah, they all came through. And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't realize. They were like, no, he was saluting at somebody else. No, he wasn't.
And it's incredible. You got people.
Yeah, to be
at the
honest, he
top-
didn't know who he was saluting at. That's
at
the
the
sad.
top.
Right.
People at the top poking themselves out at the top of tanks, waving at the crowd. What are you waving at?
They were trying to actually. Somebody said they were trying to come up from air because those tanks had been locked up so much that the people were suffocating inside the tanks. So it wasn't just waving; it was coming up to get fresh air.
To come up and get fresh air. Because what are you waving about?
Don't
What are
wave
you
at the crowd,
waving?
man.
But the
I
way
saw
you
many
waving
of
the
them.
crowd.
I saw many of them that did not wave. They were just kind of like stoically standing there.
And cheesy
And-
smiles, Penelope. Remember that?
Well,
Oh yeah, it's like, come on.
this
y'all.
is also the 250th anniversary of the formation of the Navy and the Marines, and they have both announced that no, we're not doing anything. No, we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, we don't do that. I said we don't do that. That's
We're-
not a thing that we do.
We're at sea.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing
We're
you
at
could do
sea.
if you were celebrating the armed forces, the anniversary of the armed forces. You could have done a nighttime thing with the brass band and playing like
With all of the armed
Sousa-
forces.
Sousa music.
Yeah. And not have it focused on
fireworks.
yourself.
And not,
He wanted-
not somebody looking like a hunter sitting behind a plexiglass. He's the only one standing up in the crowd and saluting them with that long ass tie. And somebody would have tell him, "Listen, you fat freak, get that tie and put it the right length. That tie is not supposed to stretch all the way down to your crotch."
I guess what he figured is that, it's a breathing. Heavy breathing. It's not that sexy. Not that heavy breathing. No. Okay. He thinks it's a new fashion craze. If he does it long enough, that everybody else in the Republican Party will also do it.
Well, it's Anthony Fremont.
Yeah.
Like people are afraid to say anything. Hey, you may want to shorten that tie. Your ass fired the next day. You got
That's right.
gone. You're in Siberia.
No,
Mhm.
I really think, that it would have been a whole, it would have been a wholly different, totally different outcome if it was a different president, sitting up there looking down on the troops. Okay, in fact, I can tell you right now, if it was a different president, you probably would have had more of the different government agencies, the
Yep.
national the National Endowment for the Arts would have probably gotten involved. Um, Historical people, okay, more historical people would have gotten involved. It would have been completely different than this abomination that was supposed
It
to be a
was.
charade.
You picked the right word. It was an abomination,
Yeah,
and I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw. I not to take anybody third hand, second hand take on it. I saw how
Well,
horrible this is.
you're a better man than me because I said, okay, I'm a peek a little bit at
Mhm.
it, and I
And
no
shook
no
your
no I
head.
can't, yeah, I
Shook
can't
your
do this
he
now.
just shook your head. Said no, no.
Yeah, no, I
Mm-mm.
can't do this. No, no.
Nah, I'm looking. I'm looking because I want to see for myself. I don't want. I don't want any. I don't want any bias either way. I don't want any biased person. Just giving me snippets. I want to see it, and it was horrible. It was worse than I thought. I thought he was going to really try. Here's the thing. This is the mind meld that happened.
Mhm.
I thought he was going to pull it off, and it's going to the way the Democrats, everybody else was talking about it. I thought he was going to do like Cranston said had the like the missiles, like the North Korean thing.
Yeah, like you see
I
them
thought
doing
that was going
over.
to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing like that.
You should have done it at all. Just that's it.
Yeah,
It's
I
never
know,
been
but
done. Don't do it.
don't
Just
do it.
is there anybody that just tells you like, you know what, this is going to go off badly. Just
Yeah,
don't do it.
he has nobody in his entourage that's courageous enough to tell you and telling him, hell, yo, man, this is not going to come out right. This is not going to do it. Like James said, you got to have participation and historical,
Yeah,
like the old, like
Mhm.
the what you call it, the people who fought in George Washington's army and stuff. Look,
Mhm.
people dressed up like that, and the fife and bugle and
Yeah.
all that stuff like
All
that.
that.
Your stuff look like people in fatigues strolling to the local Walmart to shop for cookies.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, I just went on one of the the Polifact website. It was a proper listing, but the companies were fake. So somebody spoofed the companies to put in there the
Like what,
ad.
for instance?
There is no company called T Mellon Events or Fight Fight uh, LLC.
wait a minute.
So somebody bought the ad, but they weren't real companies.
Wow, how sad.
Oh my goodness. Oh
It's all
boy.
fake. It's the
Wow.
same thing this guy said that he went to Qatar and Qatar gave him a plane as a gift. That's not what happened. And then the media spent a
Just
whole
went with
week
it.
talking about,
Just went with it.
oh man, you can't accept gifts and blah blah blah. He didn't get no damn gift. The country paid for that plane.
Yeah, a plane that, as the word goes out, real reporting tells us that that plane will not be ready to go until after the planes that were already ordered would already be delivered.
And it's gonna take like $200 million to retrofit that plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's old.
yeah.
But the
What a
media the media jumps on the thing. Donald Trump said he got a gift from Qatar of a
Yep.
plane.
instead of just saying, "Hey, he said that, but it's not true. We
And
have to
that's the
pay for
reason
that
why and
plane,
that's the reason
and it
why I'm
costs all
watching
this money."
and that's why I watched that thing called a parade yesterday because I feel I can't get any true depiction of stuff, man.
Right,
I just don't feel
right.
that I can get it.
Yeah.
You
And so, I
know?
mean, as we go back to, I mean, we got like we're trying to do even-handed thing here about it's almost like time. We've been here for can't believe we've been here for almost an hour. It's insane. Oh my gosh. Juneteenth and Father's Day, because we wanted to ask people for Father's Day, what was the best gift you've ever given, the best gift you've ever gotten? You know, is anybody here in the position to respond to such a question of
I,
Father's Day? Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. For Father's Day, I don't ever remember giving my daddy anything. I don't.
Except a
No,
headache.
shut up.
No,
Like
I
I said,
remember. I Oh God, no, I remember
I
having to do
don't.
things. Oh, no, do things, get things. What you probably don't remember is the fact that if we didn't, we would
Oh
have had
yeah,
hell
life
to
was
pay.
hell on us. It
Yeah,
was.
it would have been hell to pay. So
That's.
it's like he think that like that what you call it, petulant child
Mm-hmm.
thing. If you didn't get them something or didn't celebrate them, then you better get. So you may not remember exactly what it was, but one thing you can be sure of is that something was gotten every
Well,
year. A
see,
cake was
I
made,
probably don't
a thing was
remember it
done.
because I remember you and Natalie were the ones who'd always and go and get stuff and put everybody's name on. That's why I don't remember anything. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but we understand that if you didn't do it,
Mm-hmm.
the consequences were dire for
Yeah.
everyone.
They were
No,
saving
I
y'all from
just
misery.
I just
Hmm.
remember. I don't know whether I don't think it was the best, but I just remember the usual cologne maybe for
That you gave or you got.
that I gave. You know,
Hmm.
uh, the old standby English leather.
All right, there we
Nothing
go.
wrong with
I
that.
was
Mine,
about to yell
mine was
brute.
Mine was Old Spice.
All right, there
Oh
we
Every
go.
yeah,
year,
Old
my
Spice
uncle.
too.
Woohoo! You see it on TV. You think that must be good.
Uh,
It's on TV.
Is
yeah,
anybody gonna say hi karate?
Or
Anybody? Hi
Brute by
karate?
Fabergé.
I don't
Mm.
think I don't think I ever bought or gave hot karate. My go-to when my first cologne that I ever bought when I was like 15 years old was Old Spice. And I thought I had done something.
Uh, well, I mean, Brute. I mean, I think we bought. I remember buying Brute,
Mm-hmm.
but also I remember that one of our aunts was an Avon lady. So we would
Mm-hmm.
buy Avon stuff because that we would get it from her, and she would make sure it was delivered. So we get those little Avon things, right? So I
Yeah.
remember doing that. You probably don't remember exactly, but that's what we would do: get those little Avon things.
As
Yeah.
far as me receiving anything for Father's Day, the best gift I ever received was probably peace and quiet.
All right, now
Yeah,
I
peace and
understand
quiet.
it.
Yeah.
And how about you, Otto? What's the best gift you ever gave or received?
I think the best, I was brought up in a single parent household with my mom. So, and we lived with my grandfather. So, what I gave, Father's Day when you're in school, so it was kind of awkward for me because the class would say, teachers say, do something, make this card or this thing for your father for Father's Day, and so But I
Hmm.
made this ashtray. Back in the day, they had this thing where you make things out of clay, and
Hmm.
I was not artistic, so I said, "Well, I'll make an ashtray," which is basically a flat thing, and the edges are pulled up.
Yeah.
And so you write "Happy Father's Day" on the bottom, and they put it in a kiln for you. And so I gave that to my grandfather for Father's Day.
Oh, wonderful. It's a
Yeah,
lovely
and then
thing.
I received many beautiful gifts. Anything I get for my children is fantastic. And I got a New York Knicks tumbler for my son. So I anything I get is fantastic. But I'm kind of like James. I'm not into the celebration of these days like that because I think they're kind of manufactured days in order to
Hmm.
get people to buy stuff. I think the Mother's Day is a real holiday to be honored. And I think that somebody sent me something that said like Father's Day was like 20th on the list of days of celebration. It was like number 20 after Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like Veterans Day and Earth Day.
Hmm.
It's like
Groundhog Day,
Groundhog's Day
Sadie
and
Hawkins Day.
and Day
There you go.
Day and Day Day and
Oh, well.
Tuesday.
And also Tuesday. All right, there we go.
Because of the tacos.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm chill with that. Yeah, I'm I think some of these manufactured holidays, I think they're overblown a bit. Even Valentine's Day to me is like a manufactured day to make you do stuff.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite holidays, of course, is Thanksgiving, because I think it's very eternal, holiday. You get stuff for your family
Oh
and
my
cook,
God.
and everybody eats. That's Thanksgiving is probably my favorite, and then of course Halloween. So those are like Christmas is great too, but Halloween is such a big
But
deal.
here's the thing. Here's the question I got. Now we had a discussion like, what is a holiday? Is Father's Day a holiday? Because here's my definition of holiday. Holiday is a day that you would normally have to go to work or school, but you don't have to because it's a holiday. Now any day like this Father's Day thing that shows up on a Sunday, to me is not a holiday because I'm not scheduled to go to work and I wouldn't have to go to school if I was in school.
Okay, so yours is only based on whether or not you have to go to work or school.
Yeah.
And it's an observation day. Then we're observing a day of observance. How's that?
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so what if I know I know this holiday is near and dear to your heart? What if Cynical Day falls on a Sunday?
You know, ain't no cynical day. Why you gotta come up with some fictional day?
But
You
you
know,
only
ain't no.
wish. But if it was, you would be king of Cynical Day. You and James would be fighting it out for
I would
Cynical
hope.
Day.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope, man. Because
You-
this
Uh,
Father's Day thing. I mean, what is a perfect Father's Day in your mind? What would be a perfect Father's Day?
to the fathers or just to
Or if
all of us?
if you were celebrating, let's say your father was a normal human being, right?
Yes.
And you were celebrating that day as a
Yes.
whatever age you were or whatever.
Right.
What would be the perfect day for that?
Okay. If it would be, you would cook whatever the meal thing is that they like best, right? You know, all the things that they were supposed to do around the house, you pick that stuff, those chores up for them, so they didn't have to do them. If they wanted to watch their favorite shows, even if they were on the same time as your favorite shows, you would not complain. You just say, "Cool," you watch what you want to watch. Eat what you want to eat. Don't have anything that you're required to do. That to me would be a good, from the perspective of somebody giving a good Father's Day. That would be it. Now, unfortunately, for those of us who live in this home, that the day that I have an expectation that I eat steak, and that since Otto is the only one that makes it, unfortunately he has to cook on Father's Day
Now, that's
because
not unfortunate for me.
Mm.
That's not unfortunate because I want to eat steak too. And
yeah,
I know
I would love to make it
I'm not
for
gonna.
you, but you do it too well for me to
Yeah,
bother
I'm not
making
gonna.
that.
I'm not gonna let anybody else mess that up. I'm gonna eat it.
Exactly. Agreed. You should not ever put that in my hands to do it. It would not probably, if it turned out well, it would have been coincidental that it turned out well, because I really don't know what I'm doing with making the steak. And you do that and say, yes, that's the thing. And yeah, but that's it. Kind of let them have their day. Don't ask them to do anything. Even the things you would normally ask them to do or they expect them to do. Don't ask them to do anything.
That's
Just
not
figure
like
it out yourself.
that's like a normal Saturday to me because
But this is Sunday, so it's
they'll
different.
ask me to do. They'll ask me to do crap.
Yeah, but we ask anyway, regardless of whether you want to do it. I'm saying this time we won't even ask.
Oh, you can ask all day long. You can ask for $1 million.
I know, but I'm just saying that we won't even ask.
Oh, I
This time
think
we
I
won't
hear
even.
Trixie calling me.
Yeah, you can ask for $1
Yeah,
million. It's not happening. It's not
yeah, but we won't even guilt you by asking for it. We just move on and do it on our own.
Excuse me, I got a question, Otto. Along with the steaks that you're gonna make, are you gonna make a picture of Kool-Aid? Because you can make some Kool-Aid. I talk about you and say things about you, but you can make a picture of Kool-Aid.
I like Kool-Aid too, but I'm
Are
probably
you
not
gonna
gonna make
make
no
some
Kool-Aid.
today?
That's
I'm not
grape
gonna make.
Kool-Aid. I
Yeah.
mean, the first person ever said
All
that is
right.
actually right. Grape Kool-Aid with lemon. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the favorite things if you make grape Kool-Aid with lemon.
And
It
don't
is.
let them get to the lamb chops now. Don't let them start with the lamb
Oh my
chops.
gosh, the
Oh,
lamb
You
y'all
can make
making
some
is
me.
my
lamb
Y'all
favorite
chops.
making
thing.
me blush.
That's my favorite thing, the lamb
Y'all
chops.
making me
That's
blush.
that's the thing.
Oh no,
Make
I
make
just
them
do it
lamb
on
chops,
just because I
man.
know when I come in a few weeks, you're gonna have steak, lamb chops and
Yeah.
Kool-Aid for me.
Yeah, just for
All right.
And
myself.
Kool-Aid, yeah.
Just for my damn self. That's kind of day I am.
Mhm.
This
Steaks
is
and
my day.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, kids, but you know what? It's so funny because James, you talked about what you got for your dad, but what have you ever gotten that you remember other than your peace and quiet? Is there any gift that you ever got that you thought, wow, this is something that I shall treasure?
Maybe I might have in my drawer, maybe one or two handmade Father's Day cards.
That's
Oh,
nice.
that's so
You know what,
sweet.
man? You kept those. That's so hard to
Mhm.
keep.
Yeah, well, I remember making a necklace for my mom when I was like in first grade, you know, and I remember like being in high school and I opened her drawer and that ish was still there.
That's great.
But she never wore it.
You
She's
didn't
not gonna wear
expect
that
her to
crap like.
wear that, did
But
I
you?
she
sure
never
did.
threw it away, so
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know, but you
That's
know what? I
right.
sure expect her to wear it at least once.
That's
Where?
right. Because you're like the stuff that you used to make for your mom and you had to put on your refrigerator or something with the magnet.
Hmm
That's that's going in the garbage soon. Because
But I mean, it's kind of crazy. I collect those things. I have so much. That's why I have so much stuff. I keep those things.
but we
Okay.
didn't hear from Sonia and Cranston though.
Yeah, Sonia said that she did. What is it, cologne? I know. We're going to you, Cranston. What did you give? What was the thing
the
you?
the best gift that I ever got for Father's Day or anything in general is a free meal. Like tonight, my nephew is going to cook dinner for his father and myself. So
Oh,
free
that's
meal.
nice.
Oh, that's lovely. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my general go-to gift is a party-sized bottle of whatever liquor you drink. So Jim Beam,
Ah, that's a good gift.
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about. That's
So
a great
Yeah,
gift.
that is
that's
good.
always the gift. So here you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, with regard to your own father, was that a person that did not like Father's Day stuff? Did like Father's Day stuff?
In one of those things that said, okay, this is probably why I should be in therapy. He was never around on Father's Day, so
Where was he?
with his other family.
Oh,
He probably went to the
okay,
movies with those hamburgers and stuff and trying to make
Yeah.
people march.
okay.
So that was it. So
So,
he was never around. So but
But
wow.
listen, can you drink English leather and pretend it's like a liquor or something? You put that on ice.
back in the day, there were people who would do that. There used to be when there was all of those dime stores like Crest and Grants and Woolworths around, but it's so real cheap. I remember there were people who would drink Vitalis. I don't know if anybody remembers
Oh
that.
my
Oh
goodness!
my goodness.
Wow. Get out
Because
of
it was
here.
like 59 cents for a quart bottle. So they would drink Vitalis and cheap aftershaves and everything because this was
Why?
See,
because
I
it
use
was
as a joke.
alcohol and it was of course methanol and not ethanol. But hey,
Wow.
And
Okay.
you know what?
Sorry.
And then your breath will be all fresh, and then you would get tight.
Hmm
That's like 2 for 1, man.
yeah.
Thank you.
Lord.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to the
Wow.
bathroom to pee. You pee cologne.
But the other thing
Wow.
was, and I don't think it was Father's Day. I think it was actually Christmas. This was third grade, and the assignment was for everybody to bring a magazine from home, and you're going to cut pictures out of the magazine and make these holiday cards.
You know
And so
what?
everybody did that, and so they had Ebony and Look and Life and Jet and
Hmm
so on and so forth. And this one kid, L.B. Miller, I'll look up to see if he's still with us. But he had brought a magazine home, and the teacher did not check the magazines first, and she just waited till you finished your card and brought it up. And the magazine that he brought from home was either Playboy or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
That's what he made his
Sepia or
card
something.
with.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, hold up. What kind of picture was in it?
well, it was like Playboy. So he cut a picture out of Playboy and put it in the card, and that was his holiday
Oh
card.
my goodness.
Was the naked lady in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right now.
I get Jet and put the Jet Beauty of the Week on that card.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's okay. Very nice. Very nice. That is crazy. So she didn't even check. She just let him just go for broke, right?
You remember Jet Beauty of the Week?
Yes.
And to
I
tell
don't
you
like
that, this is a Penelope Flynn. She goes to Tuskegee University, and her education is this, and she does it. I said, I don't care about that.
That's
I'm looking at
important.
she's
And you
in a
forgot
bikini.
You
I hate to
forgot the
sound
zodiac
sexist.
sign. You forgot the zodiac
That's right.
sign.
Oh,
Show me
Zodiac,
that.
she's a Pisces.
All right now. All right. On the cusp, right?
She's a cusp of Pisces.
The cusp.
She's a
Wow.
cups of that
Wow,
tight
man.
bathing suit. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, who enjoys roller skating, long walks,
Yeah.
and charity work.
All kinds of
Thank
stuff
you,
that I don't give a
Cranston.
damn about.
Oh, y'all. Horrible human beings.
I don't give a damn about all that. What are you telling me all this for?
Because I have to qualify. It's like, being like Miss America or something.
What?
No, you want to know that she's well-rounded. She's not just a
Yeah.
pretty bikini.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
she's
right.
rounding up. She's rounding up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we because we started off with Juneteenth, we got a little bit off track, and now coming back around full circle. That we have, of course, today is Father's Day.
Yeah.
Juneteenth is, Thursday. Does
Right.
anybody have anything special planned for Juneteenth?
Are you joking?
No, I'm not.
When
I'm
is-
not.
What day of the week is Juneteenth again?
It's a
please?
Thursday. It's a
Oh.
Thursday.
Penelope, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to do the assignment. I didn't watch Thriller either this week. I just thought about it just a few seconds ago.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's
you know
what
what? We were supposed to talk about that, but we forgot that it was Father's
Oh,
Day.
I saw it. I saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I'm
did
like
talk about
this.
doing Thriller. Did you?
Whatever-
Did you? That
Look, whatever James said he saw, I saw it too. Whatever you say, James, I agree with him.
Okay, after
That
I
means she
agree.
agreed with me. Did she agree with me too? Because
no.
after further review, the call on the field stands.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
First down, auto.
Oh, get out of here! No.
Thank
No.
you.
No. I mean,
Thank
now I can't take anything you all say seriously
No.
because
No, you
because it
read it
starts
too.
out.
You read it too much. You see too much.
No, I do not. I do
You
not.
look at a glass. You look at a glass and you look at it and you see all these different things in it, and it's just a glass.
No,
That's
I'm
all it
saying
is.
they start out at the movie theater. They're walking down the road. Then they had a little zombie thing. They see the movie has the werewolf in it, a werecat in it. They're walking down the road, blah, blah, blah. Then she wakes up at his house and he said, I'll take you home. He gets ready to take her home because he's not really a zombie. He's just waking up from a dream that he was a zombie. But then when he takes her out, it's actually the werecat that was in the film.
No, he ain't nobody dreaming in that show.
It is. It
Ain't nobody
is.
dreaming
In
in
fact,
that movie.
just the mere fact that he turns around to the camera and his eyes change and he grins, that's not a dream.
That's not a dream.
That part wasn't the
It's
dream. She
real.
woke up.
No,
After
nobody's
she woke
sleeping.
up, and he says, "Oh, I'll come take you home." Now this is reality again. He is awake. She's awake now.
You read
He's
too
taking
much
her
in
home.
that.
No. I'm sorry. I think we should look it up. What's that guy's name? Landis. We should see what Landis says.
That man go remember. That man was on so much drugs. You know, remember
That was
that.
what
He directed the
such
thing.
a long time ago. Ooh,
Come on.
that man was just probably trying to get a paycheck. Okay, you don't remember this. He doesn't.
He don't
He
remember
does-
no
He
Thriller.
does too. He does.
Ain't
I'm sure
nobody
it's somewhere
dreaming in that.
online.
Ain't nobody dreaming that. And the thing is, it's the
It
first time.
is. Are you all crazy?
It's the first time, like I said.
How is she waking up then if she was not what you call it? If she wasn't asleep
She closed her eyes.
for
She
2
ain't
seconds.
waking up.
Was she in the movie theater when she went to sleep or at home?
They had
See, that-
already left
See, that's the
to
thing.
go home.
That's
Well,
the
see,
Nikki.
I was about
Nikki
to
hit it
say-
on the head. Nikki
Yeah.
hit it on the head.
Yeah.
There's no
'Cause I was
place to
about
be
say,
sleeping.
if she-
Or maybe
she
she
felt-
thought she was oh wait, but
You
she
you
had
put
to be
you
home.
you added stuff that's not even in the damn video.
I'm not, and so are you all. And so are you all. Your
Well, I
attitude is
didn't
not
add
here.
anything because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about the whole thing, and I just remembered just about a few seconds ago that we were supposed to watch it. I really
You did. You know what? I forgot too. So I'm glad you remembered.
see, you know. So
But you hit the nail on the head. Did she fall asleep in the movie theater, or did
No,
she fall asleep at home?
no. She
because
got. She said, "I don't want to watch this." She got her ass up. You know, like a Sonya would get her ass up out of the theater and walk out. I don't like this. They say, I'm enjoying this. And he, and then next thing you know, she run in the house. He become a zombie and start doing some dancing and stuff. And then she ran in the house and then she turned her head and next thing she look up, he's Michael Jackson again. Nobody fell asleep.
I
Yes,
got
she
an
did.
idea,
Nah.
y'all.
Yes, she
What-
did.
No, when I don't like movies, I just go stand out stay in the lobby and get my money back. Back then, you could get your money back when you didn't like something.
If you were on a date with Michael Jackson, you would sat down next to him and watched it, and then jumped up and left. And he was like, "Hey, come back!"
I'd be in the lobby waiting
Yep.
It was.
and requesting my money back because I did not like the show.
To me because I wouldn't go at all. I was like,
It
look,
was, as they say, a thing where two things can be correct at the same time. She was asleep, but he also was whatever he turned into.
Oh, Cranston, stop it! Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop that now. You know that's not true.
This is the thing. They said that the
That's not
concept
true.
for Thriller. The concept for Thriller sees Michael on a date with a girl played by Ola Ray.
Oh, now you're going to
The
Wikipedia?
couple leave their movie date and are met by zombies on
What
their
you
way
reading
home.
from?
Michael, this is what Smooth Radio. They have an article about it. The Michael turns into a zombie, leaves the troop, and iconic choreography. The zombies surround Ola, and she quickly wakes up, realizing that it was all just a
You
bad
can't
dream.
just go out and reach out for some internet thing that supports your
I
theory.
wish I would have known that because I would have done that too. I would have just, looked something up. Because
It's some fake stuff that supports what you say.
It seems like it was too long, the way you all were talking about it.
The video?
There were two versions of the video. There was the radio cut and the long cut, the mini movie that they submitted for an Oscar.
I don't know about winning an Oscar,
or Tony, or Emmy. I can't remember which. There's two versions of it.
Okay, Sonya, now you stop now because it's like you're trying to give it a Tony and an Emmy and the Oscar.
No, I can't remember which one they submitted it for. Was the Oscar or the Emmy? I can't remember. I think it was the Oscar.
You just excluded yourself. You're giving them all kind a Grammy, a Tony, an Emmy, an Oscar.
Well, they could have won all of them except for the Tony.
Okay, you out now.
It was a recording, and it was a mini film because they did release it. They did show it in New York and L.A. during qualification.
You had a little bit of gravitas, then you lost it all by saying all these things that they could get.
She's just saying the things that
No, she's saying they could win an Oscar. Or Tony.
Well, I didn't say it could win. I didn't say it won. I said they submitted it for They submitted it for consideration.
Stop trying.
Need a glass of Vitalis right now.
A nice tall glass of Vitalis.
Oh Lord!
My Father's Day drink. My favorite Father's Day drink. A nice glass of Vitalis. Here you go, Dad.
Yeesh.
Oh Lord!
That's what y'all should had Nikki and Penelope. That's what y'all should give your dad for Father's Day. A big ass glass of Vitalis on ice.
Sweet didn't even say nothing about that. That's too nice. That's too much work.
On ice, like those ice cubes, like those.
No, it's too, all of it. Going out.
Oh my God, my daughters love me.
It's too much.
My daughters love me so much.
Penelope, get your husband. Get your husband.
That's very interesting. I'm looking at this Rolling Stone article they have. No, it's very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at Rolling Stone.
That now.
No, it's looking at this Rolling Stone article, and they were saying that it said that there should not be business classes based on Thriller. So John Landis on the motivations behind making Thriller and its huge financial impact. The reality is, it was a vanity video. Everything that happened on Thriller happened because Michael wanted to turn into a monster. None of it was planned. I want to make that clear because there was a course taught at Harvard Business School on Thriller, and it was complete bullshit.
You gotta be joking. They taught a class on that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Leave it to white people.
Yeah, but he was saying it's all bull because it was not, anything except that he wanted to turn into a monster. And I mean, I remember that saying that he really wanted to do that thing, to that transformation, you know. So I get it. I'm trying to see which one is the real
No, you
you.
don't get it because you got it wrong on the dreaming thing.
No, I'm correct.
You said you got it, but you don't actually get it.
I did.
You're in the Sonia court with the EGOT, with the Emmy, and the Tony, and the Grammy, and the Oscar.
See, this is the Rolling Stone article. You can read it.
Okay.
That's okay. I
Yeah,
trust
that's
you.
what. Yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
Nikki
I
on
I
that one.
know.
trust
I
you.
know. You don't have to
We're gonna
read it
move on
though.
with that.
I'm
Yeah, we're
just saying,
gonna move
moving
on with
on.
that.
All right, now, is there anything else you want to talk about other than me being right about Thriller? Other than that,
A big
no.
glass of
Okay.
Vitalis for your thoughts.
Okay. Enjoyed that. And I'm gonna say, Sonia, we asked you, kind of like went over it,
Mhm.
like for the Father's Day thing. Did you do anything
No, I,
for?
I told y'all I would. My uncle, because my uncle was the main figure in
Hmm.
my life. Every holiday, he got a something Old Spice
Every
and
holiday.
a easy bake oven cake,
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
sweet.
like
cute.
a
That's nice.
four
Oh,
four tier easy
oh
bake
my
oven cake
God, Sonia,
That's
that is
nice.
so sweet. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
made from scratch. I didn't have any to mix in
Wow. Oh my gosh. Bravo.
Yeah, that's good.
That is so
Bravo,
cute.
Sonia. I like that.
because
That
my
that is
uncle was
that
never
is
convinced that easy bake ovens could bake, so I had to prove it to him every year.
oh,
That's
that is very
good.
sweet.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I
So
like
I'm gonna
that a
beat
lot.
the Old Spice thing,
Yeah, that is really
because
great.
Old Spice used to come in a box, didn't it?
It used to come in a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's real
Na-
fancy. It comes in a
yeah,
box.
and now they've got all sorts of now they have all sorts of products. Before they just came in all sorts of stuff.
Remember the
Yeah.
old Old Spice commercial with a guy whistling
Yeah,
coming
Yeah.
back from sea?
Okay. Now we
Okay,
just had this discussion.
Nick,
Do not remember that, right?
Don't
that's
start that. I was about to curse Otto. Don't start.
Nick. Nikki has an aversion to whistling.
You're gonna tell every.
Yeah.
I'm leaving now.
She
Everybody
she
have a nice
she
weekend.
performed.
I'll
Listen,
see y'all
don't you go
next.
no, don't you go nowhere.
Bye. I'm
I'm
gone.
tell
I'm
I'm
gone.
telling
I'm
everybody
gone.
how you did family violence with somebody who's whistling.
I sure
Uh-huh.
would. I beat the hell out of
She
whoever it
te-
was. Or I
she te-
tried to. I,
Nikki will tear your ass up with whistling.
you,
Yeah.
so
So
you know
you
what?
probably shouldn't do that.
If you ever meet me in person, your ass better not whistle.
It said, "Oh
Okay?
my God, she could not." When
Turn to
she was
the
a little
she'll
girl,
turn
she
to the
got to stand it.
Tasmanian devil.
No
She'll turn to the
joke. When
Tasmanian
she was a
devil.
kid, you could not do that. And the problem was, maybe she would not have had a problem with it, except that unfortunately, my older sister and I cannot whistle. I mean, it's like that airy, shrill kind of
And
sonic
it
thing.
sounded bad.
Yeah, so yeah, we were not good at it, and that was always,
That
a
made it
thing.
worse.
Yep, it sure did. She boy, yes,
She turned into
And
some
you
kind of
better hope
maniac.
and you
Hmm.
better hope you can outrun me too, because I
that's
will
right.
chase you. I will
Yep,
chase your ass around the house.
yeah.
She
So
turned
yeah,
into
you
a
better.
maniac, a whistle maniac.
Yeah, you have to understand. Nikki was a lot younger than us too, man. We had to haul ass though, because she get
She
you.
was like Anthony Fremont when you
Yeah,
whistle.
man, she didn't play around with that.
You put
It's
your
like,
ass in a cornfield.
yeah, she'd
And
tell you to
see,
stop doing it, and if you kept doing
Penelope,
it,
I don't
uh-huh.
mind you telling people this. That's no problem. I don't mind. But
Mhm.
if you're gonna tell it, you gotta tell it all. I hate it when people hummed also.
You can't do
Yeah.
nothing. You can't
I
do
mean,
You can't do anything musical with your body except for beatbox or something with her.
You better not do that either, because I probably really beat the hell out your ass
Damn.
tomorrow. Why are you making all that crazy noise? Stop it!
yeah, I think because all of us are on the spectrum in one way or another, and we have those things, certain sounds. I know there's
Those
a
things that'll
a
trigger you.
condition, yeah,
Yeah.
conditions. Like for mine, I know it's like you talk about nails on a chalkboard, that
Oh
thing, and then
God.
also people who scrub their feet on the
Feet on the.
sidewalk,
I
sandy
remember
side.
that.
Oh my gosh! Oh my
Y'all
gosh!
need to
That
have a nice
that's.
tall glass of Vitalis and go sit down.
I don't know. I think we have those hearing things that certain
Mm.
sounds are triggering. And that's what. Oh my goodness,
So
that's one for me.
so what about mm mm mm
I'm killing
mm
you
I
mm
now.
slap the
mm?
shit out your ass. Like you do that.
What I do?
Things that make you go,
Yeah,
What
don't
I
do that.
do?
Mm.
Like,
Don't
damn.
do that. You know.
Y'all know what? I'm
And
gonna.
if we did it ever, it was usually when our parents were not at home because they knew she had an aversion
A
to
lot of
that type
humming
of
and
thing.
whistling.
We get in
Come back
trouble for
home, the
doing
house
it.
be tore up.
Yeah, we get in trouble for doing it. And they
Oh
say,
man.
"Why are you intimidating her? What's that? Intimidating
Oh,
her?"
remember at
Yeah.
first I didn't know what word to use, but Mommy brought that word, intimidate. That was it.
Stop
That was
intimidating
it, y'all.
So
her.
not even a oof.
Yikes.
You could do that. That's okay.
You can't say no. You can't do
You could
nothing.
say that. That's all right.
But I tell you what, I didn't, and sometimes I didn't like for people to sing either, because I remember that time, Nadine. I mean, Penelope. You don't remember it? We were little. It was time to go to bed. I had to share that room with Nat, and Natalie was whistling. I told her to stop, and she
Mm.
stopped. But then that crazy bitch started just singing all kinds of crazy notes, and I told her to stop. And she had her head under the cover too, y'all. She had her head under the cover, and she kept when I told her to stop, and she wouldn't stop. I got my fist and I punched Nat. Nat was quiet, and she told me, "Nikki, after you punched me, I saw stars."
Yeah, just if you
That's
follow the
great.
planets and stars, because her head was under the cover. You punched her in the eye. It's
Bah.
like,
Well, I didn't know I got her in the eye because remember, she was
mm-hmm.
trying to be
The
funny.
cover
She
was
had her
over
head under the
her
cover.
head. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, I
So.
just shoot wherever it landed. That's
Oh,
where
so
you got
funny.
it. Wherever it landed.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, you know what though? I think Penelope, the winner of the Father's Day gift
Hmm.
giving, had to be Sonia with that gift.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
that
was.
is so
That is
cute.
so cute.
That
Yes.
is. I gotta admit, that is really cute. I
It,
never thought somebody doing
Was it
that.
fully okay? But before we give her the gift of winning, was the cake
that's all
fully
you
done?
get is just the gift
Of
of winning.
course it was. I wouldn't
That
serve
was her.
raw
She's trying to,
cake.
and that's the point. She's trying to prove that it can be done.
Yeah. And the
Let her
funny
speak for
thing is,
herself, Penelope.
Yeah.
I mean, I just know. I just
Yeah.
know.
and the funny,
Yeah, I used to bake a lot. I couldn't cook. Because my grandmother would always control the kitchen. But I used to bake a lot when I was younger, up until high school.
Mm.
I
In
would
a
cook
real
a
in a
cake.
real oven.
Yep, both. I still had that easy bake up until middle school.
I
Wow.
still have mine in my garage right now. I still have
Hmm.
it.
Mine disappeared during one of the moves.
No, no.
So I'll buy yours, Nikki.
No, see, I would sell it, but my mom and my sister, the same one I popped in the eye. When I moved to Philadelphia, they went in my bedroom and decided when I was gone, they're gonna clean my room. They threw away my Easy Bake. I had the box and everything. They threw everything
Oh,
away, even the little tea set. You know, the little itty bitty
yep.
Corningware tea sets. I
Oh
had
my
Mm-hmm.
them.
God, that's one of my favorite things in all the world. Those are Corningware tea sets.
Yep, they got rid of that too. They're like, well, we got rid of
Why
all
would you?
the.
I say, why would you touch my stuff? That's how I feel.
I
Do not
asked
touch my
that.
stuff.
I
That's the
asked that.
equivalent of when my grandmother threw away my mom's comic book collection because she had a big comic book
Oh my
collection
gosh.
That's
when
like a
she was a
I'm gonna
teenager.
tell you, that is an insane
Yeah.
thing to
Well,
do
it was
because
the stereotype is it's usually the boy who had it. It was my mom who had the comic book
Mm.
collection.
I
And
mean, I'm gonna tell
baseball
you,
cards.
yeah. Well, for us, I mean, we started collecting comic books when eBay first came out. I mean, we had collections when we were young, and then when eBay came out, we started trying to recapture all the comic books that we had when we were kids.
Nah, my mom's threw my comics and my baseball cards into the back of the closet, and I found them back there like 20 years later.
And you got them now?
Yeah,
Are they worth
You are
anything?
good. Yeah, I'm sure they are.
yeah, yeah. Right now, the highest price card in my collection is 1973 Mike Smith rookie card.
How much is that?
Wow.
But that's only if it's graded. Cause see now you have to have your cards graded by a middleman like Beckett's or something like that.
Heritage,
Yeah.
Heritage used to be near us.
Yeah.
Well, Beckett's they were like the first. They're right down there in Texas.
So was Heritage
Yeah.
Mhm.
until they moved to Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Just right. I mean, it was real close to where we lived too. It was within like 10 minutes of our house.
Mm.
I
No, but
mean,
thank God she did that though.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
you had a
fantastic.
great. I'm speaking ill of my mother or anything like that, but my shit was in the street, yo.
Mm-mm-mm.
That shit got thrown out.
That's so awful.
It looked like garbage to her, I guess. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't need all this.
Yeah. What are you carrying all this stuff from place to place?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the mindset the parents had. That your stuff is
But you
just
know what
garbage.
though? When eBay
Hmm.
came on, I brought it back,
That's what we did. We
and I
bought
got comic
all our
books,
stuff.
and I got comic books worth like a couple of $1,000 each. I'm
Yep.
good.
I mean, we had mine was the Witching Hour, trying to get back all my Witching Hour comic books, and I got a lot of them. I didn't get it all, but I got a lot before people caught on. And so we had them back when we were kids. We were
How
that
can I get
and
that for Father's Day?
what?
Expensive one of those big ass comic books I had.
Yeah, that would be great.
Remember those big comic books?
Yeah, like remember they used to have the big Superman ones, the Superman family comic books that were huge.
Yeah, I got that through the mail.
Mhm.
Yeah, oh my God, I used to
Yeah,
love
if you
those.
could find a crossover, Superman fights Spider-Man.
Oh
That
yeah.
was
Oh
a
yeah.
big comic. That's a collector's item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what the question is? Should you keep it or should you sell it?
Well, right now with me, I'm coming up with a plan where I'm going to get my oldest son involved in it because
Hmm.
You're gonna
you know,
liquidate?
yeah, I'm a liquidate. Cause especially with cars. I mean, I got like, geez, Luis, like close to 50,000 cards. I gotta get rid of some of them.
Mine.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I have boxes. I have boxes in my closet. I have boxes under my couch. I got
Wow.
cards all over the place.
You know,
And it doesn't make
you got to
sense
put
for
those. You
me.
got to put those out first for all of us who are your friends, and let us get first hit.
Possible, possible.
Not no Mike Schmidt card though.
No, Mike Smith stays where it's at. Mike Smith, my early Yankee and Met early 70 cards. No, those stay with me.
A rookie Dwight Gooden card. That's what I like.
Yes, we could like that. How many of those you got?
I think I might have one Dwight Gooden rookie card somewhere in here.
Damn.
Um,
I'd be
So
like,
cool.
what's her name, Marjorie Post? I'd be up in that thing on my knees, going through every card in that set. 50,000 cards. I touch every one of them.
well, the crazy thing about it is now the price is starting to go up on cards from the steroid era.
Hmm.
Oh,
Interesting.
the Barry Bonds and
Yeah,
what's his name? What's that dude's name? McGuire.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Rafael Palmeiro and
What's his
Roger
name?
Clemens.
Yvonne De Jesus and all. What's his name?
Yeah, yeah. I thought that that would be the last cards people would want, but no, it's starting to go up.
Interesting.
Look towards any type of Bowman cards from when Topps rebooted the
Hmm.
Bowman card company.
Huh.
Because they have a lot of rookie cards in their stuff.
Very
Anybody
cool.
got that hard piece of gum they should have in that?
Actually,
you,
I
you,
have.
you gotta be
I ha-
kidding.
no, I have like two pieces of gum from when Topps brought Bowman back in 1989, but I'd be darned if I touch it because by now it's like I guess it's probably the government's probably turned into arsenic or formaldehyde.
Ah,
It
crack
was
your teeth on that thing, man.
that's the same.
Crack.
That's the same as it was when they first put it in.
Yeah, if you crack all your teeth trying to bite into that thing.
And cut your mouth.
Yeah, man.
And
No,
then it
it's
didn't have no taste. It's like
Mhm.
you
all
chew
the
it one or two
chemicals
times
have
and then
degenerated, so no telling what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, really, I don't think Tops has put gum in their packs in their baseball card packs in like maybe 20, 30 years.
that's ridiculous.
You know,
Wow.
We could talk about this one day. You know, all the stuff that stupid kids, made us not get anymore, like the gum for Tops or the thing at Cracker Jacks. The toys.
Surprise,
you know what? You know what kills me is I remember in junior high school, 1973, a friend of mine, because we used to play cards, with the baseball cards, and he had won like maybe for that day close to 300 cards, and he threw them all down into the gutter
Why?
because he was stupid.
Damn.
Because I mean, back then nobody was thinking about card collecting back then, but
no.
even that, you would hold on. You just throw those cards into the closet for a couple of years.
Right.
Yeah,
Then
you
throw
put
them
them.
out.
You put them in your shoe. You put them in your shoebox. You have them in the shoebox. That's it.
Yeah, which
kept them
I have a bunch of shoe
Wow.
boxes in the closet. But yeah,
Wow.
it to this day I remember it's like a nightmare.
Oh my God.
It's
You
like
weren't
You
gonna
got
jump
sick
down there and try to recover them?
yeah, and probably would have ran into Pennywise too.
Okay. Never mind.
All right.
Never mind. Now you're talking about something completely different.
Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for all you all who are celebrating not celebrate Juneteenth, we're going to observe Juneteenth because there's really nothing to celebrate. We'll observe this thing in whatever way that makes you feel that it's appropriate.
I
You know.
just I'm sorry. I just think I don't. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't understand the purpose. I'm
I know.
you
I mean,
know
because
You're celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation.
yeah,
yeah, but that's again to me we're just celebrating something that one part of the country got late, and if anything,
mhm,
you're celebrating the connivingness
mhm,
of certain people in this country. Because you mean to say they didn't tell these
yeah,
folks,
they didn't.
you
They
know?
tell you that. And made certain you could learn how to read so you could find out on your own, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, I understood.
Yeah,
It's very
I'd
difficult.
rather. I listen. Since I'm a New Yorker, I would rather celebrate 1827.
Mm,
That's when slaves were freed in New York City.
hmm Well, I look at it this way. Most of us, I mean, like for us, didn't even know about Juneteenth until we moved to Texas. I mean, I didn't even know what that was.
Me
I knew
I
what
either.
it
said,
was.
Juneteenth, and what the heck, huh?
That's what Fox. I knew what it was. That's what Fox News is saying when they were passing the Juneteenth holiday
hmm
bill. They're saying,
hmm
"Man, black people talking about Juneteenth. They didn't know anything about Juneteenth till like last week or something.
Well, you know what?
Now
I'm
it's so
saying I
important. Now
knew.
it's so important to them.
No, so that wasn't back then. I mean, we got here was what 1988, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
So
what they're
that's the
saying on
first time I
Fox.
heard of it in '88.
That's what they're saying on Fox News.
Well, I mean, the thing is, with their stupidity is that every state has one. It's all these Confederate states have a day, and it's not the same day for everyone. So the concept of Juneteenth in and of itself may not be, but every state has their own. Like again, I went to Tallahassee last month for Emancipation Day, which is May 20th there. But everyone has a different day. So maybe people did not know Juneteenth because it's not their state. So all they do is taking one state and make it to a federal holiday to stand in for the dates in all the different places. So it's their own stupidity, not our lack of knowledge.
And Mississippi didn't have theirs until what 2019 when they finally abolished slavery. They didn't
That's
ratify the
insane.
13th Amendment until 2019 or something like that.
That's
Mm.
insane. I don't understand.
Mm-mm-mm.
What's the point of that?
Well, I mean, the thing I do not know, but regardless, if the
Hoping,
federal laws
hoping the
just
South will rise again after all.
Well, I read something, I'm not sure where, that there was a plantation far back in the bayou in Louisiana, and they thought they had heard slavery was abolished, but they weren't sure, so they didn't leave the property, and they've been raising their families there. And I'm
Oh
like,
Lord.
shouldn't you have noticed when the master slave owner left?
Wow.
Nope.
I
Yeah,
guess it's
well,
like those.
again, it's was like that. Different parts of the country. Like I said, there was a certain plantation in Virginia. They didn't
Mhm.
know until 1866, and that just happened to be because a Union officer came riding by, and
I bet their so-called masters knew.
yeah,
yeah,
they knew,
but they
and
just didn't
see,
bother to let them know.
yeah,
Hmm.
and see, this is what they call the lineage of evil.
Hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lineage, a legacy, whatever, of people in this country that are just pure evil.
Greedy
Oh,
and
And
evil.
greedy.
they're
Yeah.
wondering why old plantations are mysteriously catching on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you think plantations should be burned down?
No,
Not
I just
necessarily.
I just think
Not,
that there may
not
be
intentionally.
some yeah, I think there may be enough electrical interference in the area that it would cause a spark or two.
Well, I mean, I look at places like the Whitney Plantation, which
Yeah,
exists to show you how it was that people actually lived, and that it's not this great place where you can come and have your
Weddings and
weddings
parties.
and part. Yeah,
right.
this is a terrible
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. If it's from a historical perspective, yeah. I mean, listen, back in 1997, when I was down in Virginia for vacation, I visited the Confederate White House. Okay.
What
The,
it
Mm-hmm.
look
the,
like?
it's it's not like the regular White House in D.C. It's a small, like, I say maybe 2 3 story building. Um, on the ground floor, they have artifacts from the Civil War.
Hmm.
Um, stuff like rifles and mini balls, and even even a captured Union officer's cap and whatnot. Then you go up to the second floor, and it shows you what is it, Jefferson Davis's private residence. And what I found odd, what they used to do back then was both men and women used to use a lot of like a wax type of makeup
Mm.
put on their face. So during the wintertime, they would actually have, if you was sitting near the fireplace and you didn't want the shit to melt on your face, you would get this like stand.
Your
It looked,
screen.
yeah, and it would be like a thick like carpet that would hang in between where you're sitting with your face and the fireplace, and that would cut down on your face melting.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the shit is that they put on their face, melted. And I found it kind of funny because when me, my sister, and her boyfriend, when we went, the tour guide was looking at us like we were crazy. Like, what? Why those Negroes, you know, on the tour of the Confederate White House? But I
And I
just,
would say, you know what? Anything you know, we should know.
yeah, exactly. Just like I visited, have visited also when I was down there, a battlefield, the Battle of, I think it's New Market,
Hmm.
I think it was. And while it was just a lot of mounds of dirt, you kind of got a feeling about what went on that day. because
Wow.
I think even that battle, I think it also involved black troops.
Hmm. That would be interesting. Kind of follow some of the routes of our black troops.
Yeah,
I wa-
um,
mm,
because
okay.
see, a lot of people think that it was just the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. You had other black regiments.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You
Mhm.
had the 21st Colored Troops Regiment from New York, which ironically they used to train on what is now Rikers Island.
Hmm.
And Riker, okay, a lot of people don't know he was a bastard because he was all up in the slave trade.
Hmm. I did not know that.
So nothing to really, nothing to really celebrate or commemorate on June 19th, or
Well, I mean, at least it's to observe, right?
Yeah, wasn't it the mixed in with Jubilee Day, which was the actual the celebration of being freed, and Juneteenth was combined for the timing of
Mm-hmm.
when they wanted something like that. So we have a Jubilee that hey, yeah, they got freed.
Mm-hmm.
Juneteenth took them too darn long to tell them that, but they
Yeah.
yeah, in DC the day is in January, like the 3rd of January. So that's a
yeah.
that's a holiday. The capital,
Mm-hmm.
the district, not the capital, I guess. The district is closed down. So
It goes from state to state. Different circumstances. Um, like I said, West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland, maybe Delaware. Um, the Emancipation Proclamation was not meant for them. You
It was
know,
only in the areas that had seceded from the
right
Union.
there you go. That's all.
well, here we are, but we celebrate nonetheless. I'm thankful for a day I don't have to go to work.
There we go.
Don't
Oh, but
take
that's
much.
yeah, that's Jubilee Day all the time. You know.
Any day,
Yeah,
any day
any
like
Yeah,
day.
there
that,
we go.
Jubilee Day.
Any
All
day
right.
any day I don't have to get on the Q train going to work is Jubilee Day.
All right. There we go. There we go. Congratulations. Woohoo. All
I
right,
come
y'all.
running out the building, Jubilee
That's
Day.
right.
Okay.
Mad
All right.
escape.
If you think
I'm
about
just
it, next year it's going to be on a Friday, so you get like a 3-day weekend.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
well, if it's on the
A lot of people are taking it this year anyway.
yeah,
They're taking
if,
Friday off.
Yeah, because they get the Thursday, they get them taken off Friday too.
yeah, if it's gonna be on a Friday, then that's Libation Day.
Right,
Okay.
Bishop? Vitalis
Mm.
Day.
Okay. There we go.
Vitalis Day.
Mm.
Here we go. All right, y'all. Well, I mean, it's getting late. About ready to
Well, wait a minute. I'd like to wish
close.
all the guys a happy Father's Day, and even though he's not alive, I'd like to wish my grandfather a happy birthday. He'd been 105 years old if he was still alive
That's
today.
right.
Oh,
That's
happy
right.
Wow.
birthday to him.
That's right. Happy
So,
birthday.
so happy birthday, Chris Goodman.
Hmm.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Happy
Anybody else?
birthday, happy Father's Day.
Yep. Anyone else? Anything else to announce
I
other
propose
than
to change
Juneteenth?
Father's Day to Daddy's Day.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll take that up with
Yeah,
Congress.
yeah, you do that. Bye.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So thank y'all very much for joining us today. It has been, I mean, this fast conversation. I couldn't believe it went so quickly. Um. And hope that everybody has a wonderful remainder of their weekend and have a great next week. Also, we are at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. We'll be back here for the Urban Prospectors of Gotham, where we
That's
will be
7 minutes from now.
oh, for me
No,
it's 3:30. For you it's an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh, 4:30 for
Yes,
us.
for you, yes.
Okay,
And
good.
We'll be
what's the
So,
topic? What's
we'll
the
be
topic tonight?
discussing New York street cons. So Anything, any con, games, scam that they pull in the big city, we'll be discussing those. So come on in and maybe learn something new and learn how to protect yourself, or at least to watch other people and think, oh my gosh, why aren't they protecting themselves? So come on today at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. We'll be discussing New York street cons. So talk to you all then. Have again great remainder of your day, great happy Father's Day, and see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.